Alright, Mr. Teleferro TV, how's everybody doing? Listen, man. When I was in school, I was a very savvy basketball mind, right? I was like ahead of my time when I was in middle school on up. I just knew the game of basketball well. I just always knew it. My friends would come up to me, ask me about the game. Everyone around my school cared about my opinion. I couldn't even play the game well, right? Imagine being somebody who, I was the last pick when we hooped, and people still ask me my basketball opinion. Yo, Teleferro, yo, Alfred, who won last night? Imagine being that guy. I was never like a nerd or anything, just people respecting my opinion. But I couldn't hoop that good. Imagine being that guy around school that, you know, that you continue that in the college, you get a degree in sports journalism, whatever. So when I was in school, I'd always argue that Kobe was better than Michael Jordan. Now, as I got older, I started to realize, okay, you know, if Kobe doesn't get to ring 6, that's going to be tough. Kobe also has, you know, when I used to argue when I was younger, Kobe only had one finals loss, 2004 Lakers versus the Detroit Pistons. Then obviously Kobe got a second finals loss. It was that 08 against the Boston Celtics, and then they went on to get revenge against Boston a second time around, right? So I've seen the best from Kobe. I've seen the worst from Kobe, the back end of his career. So when I used to argue Kobe was the greatest basketball player, my premise was he did it in a tougher era than Michael Jordan. His 4th rings and 5th rings were super impressive. And my sole premise was he remixed Michael Jordan and made him better. The problem with that is I was talking about Kobe Bryant being a remix of Michael Jordan. And it was tough to ever say the remix is better than the original when the original never lost a finals. He's 6-0. That is just super tough to ever compete with, right? So I've been battling with that. You know, as Kobe's career didn't age the way I thought it would. I thought Kobe would have played till he was 40. That didn't happen. That Achilles injury caught up with him, and I think it kind of defeated him, as Father Time does us all. So as I now look at the LeBron era, I get why there are people out there that don't believe he's the greatest of all time. I used to be sold on my argument about Kobe being better than Mike, but looking back on it, I wasn't fair to Michael Jordan. I couldn't call Kobe better than Mike when he remixed all of Mike's game. I actually thought, you know, to me, and I still believe this, Kobe was better in the post than Mike was, in my opinion. Kobe was a better three-point shooter than Mike to me. But I can't argue with 6 or 6, and I can't argue with being the original. So I get it. In LeBron's case, he's 3 and 6 in the finals right now. His argument to being the greatest is so different from me. His argument is based on he's going to probably lead the league in points scored all time, right? He's going to probably pass Kareem if he decides to play till he's 40, and I think LeBron wants to do that. He's going to probably lead, he's going to be top 10 in assists and dang near top 10 in rebounds. Ever. Like, that's crazy to think about. And LeBron's not even a scorer. Like, scoring isn't his niche. But he's still going to be #1 all time in that, most likely, unless an injury hits him at the back end of his career. You know, the fact that LeBron is as durable an athlete we've ever seen. There's never been a guy to go this long without a season and an injury. He's in year 16. The fact that LeBron has took 2 organizations to a championship, 1-2 in Miami, 1-1 in Cleveland. It's super impressive. Cleveland hadn't won a championship in decades. He's got a different type of argument. His argument is he's this specimen, this athlete we've never seen, that amount of muscle, but still have that amount of quickness, the amount of durability that this dude has. Still playing the game at an elite level. Right now, this is like off season for him, and he's still averaging like 25, 7, and 7. That's how great he is in year 16. His impact on teams, the Cavs are disgustingly bad this year, and pretty much only one guy's not there anymore. That's how phenomenal this guy is. You know? But I get, trust me, I get why you would not call LeBron James your greatest. If you're against LeBron being your greatest, if you're a Kobe guy, a Mike guy, a Magic guy, a Kareem guy, a whomever, a Shaq guy maybe, I get why you can't call LeBron your greatest. We've never seen a greatest of all time conversation be this difficult in regards to LeBron. When Michael Jordan went to the free throw line down the stretch of basketball games, we expected him to make both free throws. When Kobe Bryant went to the free throw line down the stretch of basketball games, I expected Kobe to knock down both free throws. As a matter of fact, those two guys specifically, Their games and their free throw percentage actually got better in the clutch. They embraced those moments. You knew, like, the last thing in my mind, because I grew up watching Kobe's every game. Last thing in my mind watching Kobe was, whew, I don't want him on a free throw line. I don't want him to drive to the basket and get fouled because he can't make his free throws. I went and did some research because I think from a physical standpoint, Magic Johnson is more of a model for LeBron's game. Yo, did you know that Magic Johnson was a career? I didn't know this until I did some research for you guys. Magic was a career 84, borderline 85% a game free throw point percentage for his career. Career 84, 85%. Magic was 6'8", 6'9", and he's a worse shooter than LeBron overall. Like, LeBron is a better perimeter shooter than Magic. But Magic's free throw percentage is 84, 85%. Their games are similar. I can argue LeBron's the more athletic Magic Johnson. But LeBron can shoot a little better on the perimeter. But how is that so? That Magic free throw percentage is much better. LeBron's a career 70-something percentage free throw shooter, and he's disgustingly bad in the fourth quarter of games right now. Like, did you know Magic Johnson led the league in free throw percentage at one point at 91%? It's like a Kevin Durant number. One year he led the league in free throw percentage. That's phenomenal. We know that would never be a thing with LeBron. Let's put some stats on your screen right now. This is LeBron James at the free throw line this season for the Lakers. In the first quarter, he's shooting 72%. Second quarter, he goes up a few percentage points. He's at 76%. In the third quarter, he even goes up a few points more than that. He's at 79% at the free throw line in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, he's at 74%. Now, in clutch scenarios within 5 minutes, and this stat, it describes clutch as the game within 5 points in the last 5 minutes, right? The clutch is game within 5 points. In the last 5 minutes, LeBron is 58% from the free throw line. I know the season is early on. We're about 10, 12 games in. LeBron is 58% from the free throw line this season. In the last minute, he's 44% from the free throw line this season. In the last 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, this year, the greatest player in the game of basketball is 38% from the free throw line. I get why you don't call LeBron James the greatest of all time. When you envision the greatest of all time in regards to basketball, trust me, I know, I'm with you. You think a guy who's, because we've been trained to think that because of the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant impact, right? That's the Kobe effect. You're trained to think because they have similar personalities, because Kobe copied Mike, you think, okay, he's a killer. He's going to take every shot. There's no way in heck Kobe's passing the ball with 5 seconds left. There's no way Michael Jordan's passing up the ball if his team's down 1, under no circumstance. He's taking that shot over 2 guys, make or miss. LeBron's the guy who will pass out of that double team to a teammate to make the best basketball play. LeBron has remained consistent with the team concept. Now, depending on what side of the fence you fall on, some people out there are like, yo, LeBron, we want you to be more selfish. Some people like, you know, LeBron, we honor that you make the right play and you always consider your teammates just as valuable as you. And, you know, in regards to LeBron James, there are people out there that'd rather him miss more game winners than not take them and pass it out. And you don't want to trust J.R. Smith with the last game shot. You don't want to trust, no disrespect, Rajon Rondo with the last game shot, Lonzo Ball. Let my best player lose the game. We live with that. I can go to school with that argument, right? If I'm a kid, I can go to school with that argument. I can go to work with that argument. LeBron just missed one. He gonna make that though. We rock. I can't live with Brandon Ingram taking the last game shot. I can't live with Kyle Korver missing a 3 in the corner. I can't even live with putting that in his hands. Sometimes people would rather LeBron be more selfish. If you go look at the playoff statistics, LeBron is technically the clutchest player in playoff history. Technically clutcher than Michael, technically clutcher than Kobe. But a fan doesn't go look that stat up. A fan thinks that guy is scared to take that shot down the stretch because he's scared to go to the free throw line. I'm going to get to that more in a second. And we got Kobe and Mike. Though they miss more, we know that ball was in their hands down the stretch, and they were not afraid to take that shot. I am watching LeBron James. Guys, this is the age-old argument, right? I just showed you the stats of how bad he is in the fourth quarter shooting free throws and how he gets worse as the game gets closer and closer to the end. We've always argued, why doesn't LeBron James just drive it down when his team is down 1 or the game is tied with 15 seconds? Why doesn't LeBron just do what he does for the other 47 minutes of the game? Drive that dang basketball down their throats and dunk it home. You're bigger, you're stronger than anybody on you. Right? You're quicker than that big that's on you. It's in his head. He's never been a great free throw shooter. It's been in his head his entire career. He doesn't want to go to the free throw line. He doesn't want that. His fear is he doesn't want to go to that free throw line with 2 seconds on the clock. His team is down 1. His team is down 2. And he's got to make both of those free throws. Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan had that fear. Now, right now, I even have LeBron over Kobe in greatest all-time in conversation because he has made more teams relevant. That Mike conversation is tit for tat. I got to give Mike the slight edge for now. But I get why you would say I can't put LeBron as my greatest of all time because Mike and Kobe were afraid of nothing. When you think greatest of all time because of their greatness, we have been trained to think the greatest of all time is afraid of nothing. I'll give you another example before I get out of here. J.R. Smith, game 1 of the NBA Finals. Everybody's calling it the Hennessy moment, right? When J.R. Smith got the rock, the Cavs were down, and he just pulled it back and acted as if the game was over, right? Game 1 in the Finals, LeBron goes for 50 strong points. Maybe one of the biggest 5 best games of his career. You know, it was wasted because they ended up losing that game in overtime to the Warriors. Game 1 of the Finals. I don't believe the Cavs beat the Warriors in that series, even if they win game 1. But it would have been a hell of a series to watch. With the Warriors with their back against the wall, game 2 of the Finals in Golden State. And now they got to win that game. They can't go to Cleveland down 2-0. Man, the best time to beat that Warriors team currently constructed, put their back against the wall. And then they start being hesitant on those jumpers, on who should get the ball in certain situations, put their back against the wall. I would have loved to see that team back against the wall after game 1. J.R. Smith ruined that moment for me. In my mind, a guy on the team of Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant would have never done that. Reason why I believe that? Because Kobe or Mike would have aired their asses out on that sideline. LeBron just sat there and didn't say anything to J.R. Smith. He was so frustrated with JR, but that's because that's LeBron's personality. Again, maybe not what we're used to when we talk greatest of all time. LeBron's personality is just, this is my friend, this is my dog, he made a mistake, he knows I'm pissed, he know how bad I want to win. LeBron is a I'll get it done myself type of guy, you know, with my body, with my training. Maybe not the best at leading from a, hey, you deserve to be aired out after that, JR. I find it hard to believe a teammate of Kobe or Jordan's would have ever did that. Because after that play on that sideline, Jordan or Kobe would be airing their ass out. It's just like a kid, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know how it was when we were kids. It was, sometimes we went over to our friend's house and we didn't act a fool, not because we had respect for our kids' parents, when we were spending the night over our friend's parents' house. Sometimes we didn't act a fool because we knew if that parent told my parent that I acted a fool, my parent is going to tag into my ass when I get back. J.R. Smith didn't believe LeBron would tag into his ass. Figuratively. Right? So I think that is just the making of the greatest of all time. We don't think that way. Like, we don't believe our greatest of all time can miss free throws down the stretch, afraid to attack the basket down towards the end of the game. The guy who gets to the rim easier than any other player in NBA history is clearly dodging going down the lane at the end of games. It's just one of those. It's weird, man. It's very weird when you think greatest of all time, because LeBron he's in that conversation, but it's different. We've never seen somebody. He doesn't want to be clutch. LeBron is at his best in clutch game scenarios when he just takes that shot with like a second left or 0.5 on the clock, when he ain't even got to think about it. Go look at a lot of LeBron's buzzer beaters. It's like 0.5, 0.8. He ain't got nothing but enough time but to catch and shoot. He ain't even got time to think about it. Right? It's just catch and shoot, let it go. Whatever happens, happens. When he has time to think about it, he gets in his head. And we're not used to the greatest of all time, someone being in that conversation who lets stuff get into their head. Sometimes LeBron shows us he's not the greatest of all time mentally, and that can deter people away from saying he's the GOAT. And I'm fine with that. I think he still has an opportunity to be my greatest of all time. If he could win a ring in LA, I'll believe his 4 rings are just more impressive than Mike's 6. I don't knock LeBron for I don't hold it against LeBron that he's been to the finals 9 times, lost 6. I don't hold that against LeBron. 2 of the times he went with teams that had no business being in the finals. That was all about his greatness. Mike wouldn't get that team to the finals. Kobe wouldn't get that team to the finals. But on the back end, LeBron's got to make that up. He's got to continue to get to the finals and win rings. Now you get 4 or 5 rings, we can now have that conversation. If he's 5 out of 11, I'm not holding that against LeBron. He's the GOAT to me. If he get 2 more, he's the GOAT. If he gets 1 more, the conversation it's a real convo. If he can win 1 with the Lakers, it's a real conversation. The GOAT conversation though with LeBron is just a little different. He does un-GOAT-like things the way we've been trained. So I get why you would say he's not the GOAT. Trust me, I get it. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. They are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO'S. Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.